How's it going, everybody? I'm meteorologist Joey Cragness here with your daily forecast. Before we get into things, a little bit of background info about me. I grew up in Minnesota, stayed there for a while. I went out to college in Rapid City, South Dakota. After I graduated, I got a job up in Rapid City as a broadcast meteorologist. I was there for about a year, and then a little while ago I moved down here, started working at Hail Trace about 7 months ago, and now I'm here. So I'm excited to bring you your daily forecast from now on for a little while until we'll find a more permanent person. For today, we have one more day of sunshine for the plains, a couple more days out east, but we'll have some storms expected to move in later on tomorrow evening. And then, yeah, severe storms possible for Texas and Oklahoma, all severe hazards possible with some of those storms, so we'll be talking about that. And then we got some flooding on the West Coast with all that rain they've been getting. They've just been getting hammered over the last few days, just with a lot of rain, and it's not expected to stop anytime soon out there. So before we get into the weather, we'll be at the International Roofing Expo. You can register at theroofingexpo.com, and that's on from February 6th to 8th in Las Vegas. So yeah, go check us out at booth 7507. Talk with us. We'll be out there. Glad to talk with you guys. But yeah, so out in central Oklahoma, temperatures looking pretty warm right now, 70 degrees right now in Shawnee, mid and upper 60s everywhere else. We have a little bit of cloud cover just now beginning to move out of the area, starting a nice and sunny afternoon for you. And then down in DFW, pretty similar temperatures, cloud cover again, just moving out of the area. Similar conditions down in San Antonio and Austin, a few little scattered clouds, but really nothing to be concerned about out there. Just a really nice afternoon. Like I said, this is probably the last really nice, nice day that we'll have before those storms start to move in tomorrow. Out on the West Coast, some broad precipitation across the entire western U.S. Good cloud cover with that. We'll be tracking the system down south, moving through the southern plains. Some light showers in the south and central U.S., but other than that, there's really not a whole lot going on at the moment. Temperatures beginning to warm up this afternoon for the central plains. That low pressure system off in the east coast continuing to push off into the Atlantic Ocean. So temperatures beginning to warm up out there as well. And then cooler conditions moving in with that low pressure system out in the Pacific Northwest with all that rain that they've been having out there. So roofing conditions looking pretty good for today, this afternoon. Nice warm conditions. You got 75 degrees down in Midland. So very nice day to get out on some roofs if you are in the central and eastern portions of the country. A little bit slipperier and wetter out west, but that's going to kind of be the course for the next several days out there. But then we'll get some storms moving in later on in the afternoon and evening on Friday. There's all those storms all the way up into Rapid City, South Dakota, getting some rain all the way down to Houston. So not a great time to get out on roofs with that. But if you're on the East Coast, it'll just be a little bit cooler, but still should be fairly nice and sunny with those conditions. Looking at our future radar here, we'll see all this precipitation continue to shift east and bring some snow to the Rockies, higher elevations in Utah and Nevada. Portions of Arizona and New Mexico getting a little bit of snow as well. But then as this system continues to shift east of the Rockies, that's when we'll really start to see that storm activity start to ramp up. Starting early Friday afternoon, we could see some showers start to pop up in the panhandle of Oklahoma and Texas. And then by around 6 to 7 p.m., that's when things will really start getting going. North central Oklahoma, kind of the first target for the day, and then later on in the evening and overnight hours, we'll see those storms pop up in central and eastern Texas. Could see a few more of those isolated storms. Those will be the big severe producers. But we'll see this nice bowing segment move through Houston, probably producing some strong wind gusts with that, as well as it moves into Louisiana early Saturday morning. Looking at our instability, there is a little bit. It's decent for this time of year, so it is enough to fuel those storms, make them possible to produce some severe hazards. But the main focus is going to be along kind of the I-35 corridor in central Texas. Later on in the evening, that's when that storm activity will really begin to pick up. Then that instability is going to shift east with that line of storms into Saturday afternoon, and then it's going to kind of dissipate as we move into the rest of the weekend, kind of just more scattered rain showers, not expecting much severe weather as that continues to push along the Gulf Coast there. Looking at our dew points, we do have a little bit of a dry line that's expected to move through central Texas and western Oklahoma later on Friday evening. It's a pretty weak dry line, but it is just enough to give some of those storms some lift and kick them off for the evening. Those dew points are going to shift farther off to the east into Saturday morning. We're going to get some of that dry, cool air filling in behind that, so it's not going to be precipitation that lingers for super long, but we could see a decent 24-hour period of rain for the central and southern plains, and that's going to kind of mix in with all that more moist air throughout the day on into Monday morning and kind of kill off those storm chances. Ahead of this system, we could also see some decently strong wind gusts, mainly in Kansas, Oklahoma, and Texas. That's where that strongest wind is going to be ahead of this system. And then as that system continues to push off to the east, we'll see some of those stronger wind gusts kind of fill in behind that system. So in New Mexico and western Texas, that's where you'll see those strongest wind gusts as we move into Saturday afternoon. Looking at our hail potential, we'll see a decent risk for some smaller hail, quarter to $half size hail from Elk City to San Antonio. DFW is kind of right on that edge for that hail risk. We're expecting those storms to kind of turn into a line before they reach that DFW metro. So that'll reduce those hail chances, but we could still see Fort Worth maybe get clipped by a hailstorm or two out there. But the bigger risk is going to be the western and middle portion of this risk area for that hail. The wind risk is going to be a little bit farther east. DFW now fully in that wind risk area. Houston got a moderate risk level for strong wind gusts out of that just because of how strong that line moving through that area is expected to be going into Friday evening and into the early morning hours. Small tornado risk as well with some of those more isolated storms. So San Antonio, Corpus Christi, maybe see a tornado or two somewhere within this risk area, not expecting it to be a high-end tornado event just because of how soon it's expected that these storms turn into a line. And then looking at our jet stream, we'll see this nice trough move through the western U.S., see a little jet streak south of Los Angeles, and that's going to shift east, push that low pressure system into Oklahoma and Texas, and then as that jet stream continues to push off east, we'll see that low pressure system kind of race off to the along the Gulf Coast, continuing those storms. And then we're watching this little wave in the jet stream for our next potential system as we head into next week. Looking at our low resolution model here, you can see precipitation all the way from Texas to the Pacific Northwest. Pretty wide area of precipitation, snow in the higher elevations as we get into Friday evening. Not picking up on a lot of those individual storms because this is a low resolution model, but see some decently heavy snow for the front range, rain wrapping all the way around this system, some decently strong rain down in Houston and Louisiana, and that's going to continue to push through the weekend along that Gulf Coast, maybe see some stronger wind gusts with this system. As it pushes out of Texas, it'll become more of a wind risk than a hail risk. Maybe an isolated tornado or two for Saturday, We could see some decently strong storms along the Gulf Coast, maybe pushing up into New Orleans, but it's going to be mainly along the coast that this risk is for, just because of those storms becoming more linear. Out on the West Coast, they've been getting some pretty heavy rainfall. This is just over the last 24 hours, almost 2 inches in Chico and Redding, over 1.5 inches in San Francisco, and almost 1 inch in Los Angeles. And the rain isn't expected to really stop anytime soon for them. Looking at our 5-day rain chances, you see almost an additional 5 inches for portions of the West Coast there. And then for the Gulf Coast, Central and Southern Plains, maybe 1 to 2 inches of accumulation for rain, pushing 3 inches in some areas, but it's just going to be a very wide, broad band of precipitation impacting the central and southern U.S. over the next 5 days. Today we got that system on the West Coast, broad precipitation, some moderate rainfall out there, weakening as we go into tomorrow. And then as that pushes east of the Rockies, we'll see that precipitation really pick up in the central and southern plains as we head into Saturday. On Sunday, that rain from this system that we're tracking right now is going to continue to shift east, and then we'll see another little system pop up on the West Coast, producing some more precipitation closer to Los Angeles, so not impacting the same areas that have been impacted by this past system. That was more of a North and Central California thing. This time it's going to be more of a Southern and Central California thing. So some decent flooding risk out there. But if you're interested in learning more about what we do here, you can give us a follow on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. Or if you're interested in purchasing a plan, you can scan that QR code up above me, or give us a call at 855-334-4245. Email us at info@hailtrace.com, or you can check out our website at www.hailtrace.com. But for now, I'm meteorologist Joey Cragness. Thanks for watching.